All right, so let's look at Dot Net Reflector. It's here. This is a handy tool, although you have to install it on a machine you haven't used it on before to get the 15-day trial. But after you have, you can analyze an app. And here's just a copy of that same app we already made. So let me just bring this up here. And I'll get my instructions on another screen so I can follow them. All right, so I've already downloaded that file. And it's here, ed331.exe. And when you run it, it's just the same thing. It asks you for a password. And if you put in a password, it says fail because the password is wrong. So the point is, I want to show you how to modify, how to reverse engineer and modify a .NET file. And there are other tools. But anyway, the tool I wrote this for was Reflector, .NET Reflector. And in .NET Reflector, here, let me get this out of here because I want to show you how to put it in there. All right, I'm not having any luck getting it out of there. Right click, close assembly. Oh, that did it. All right. This is what happens when you first open .NET Reflector. It has a whole bunch of stuff in it that's part of the operating system. And that's fine, but it doesn't matter. I want to load a new file, so it's open assembly. Now I navigate to the exe I want to analyze, which has to be a .NET exe, and double click it. And it will now open it at the bottom of this list. Now this thing called Windows Forms app, and you can explore it. This is just the way Java works. It is just a whole bunch of objects inside other objects. And if you dig down through here, you will eventually find the button click object. And each one of these objects, you can see the source code, which is why this is something many people do not understand, that the source code is being distributed with the program, which is not true for compiled C programs. So right here, you can see if the text is top secret, win, otherwise fail. So this is one way to win the game. You can just see the password right there. But I'd like to do something even more interesting. Notice I'm viewing the code in C#. You can view the code in Visual Basic. You can view the code in MC++, whatever that is. Now, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is, it generates complete source code in various languages. So it's distributed. What it's really distributed with is this stuff, intermediate language, which is the equivalent of Java's bytecode. It is partially compiled code down to this stuff that looks sort of like assembly code, but it runs in a .NET runtime, which is the analog of the Java virtual machine. And you can convert it from that into Visual Basic or C# or other languages. And so here you have these assembly language instructions. And what I'd like to do is modify this program so that it will accept any password. So now that I've seen the IL code, if I look down here, these lines, 16, 17, 18, and 19, these are the ones that determine if you win. See, you store location, load location 0, then you branch if it's false down to 27 and print fail. Otherwise, you print win. All right. So if I want to win all the time, all I have to do is change branch false to branch true. And then it will do the opposite of what it's doing now, and it will accept the wrong password and you will win. So in order to do that, I looked up the binary codes for these things, and they're in the instructions here. You can just look them up online. Here's a list of IL code. There's one on Wikipedia. You can just see all the IL codes and find out what they look like in hexadecimal. And here's the pattern. Store loc 0 is 0A, 06, branch false is 2C. Then there's how far to branch, and that varies. Then there's win. So I have this pattern of bytes, and all I have to do is change that 2C to a 2D, and I will reverse the order of that thing. So I can just modify it with the hex editor. To get rid of this, I'm going to make a copy of the app in case I file up the original. It's in my downloads folder. I'm going to Control C, Control V, and then F2, and call this, it's not letting me, there we go, 331 mod. All right, that's going to be the modified one. Now I just open it in a hex editor, and I like to use HXD. It's a common free hex editor. Any other editor would work just as well. I don't need this side pane. What I need is downloads. I'm going to open the modified. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can make my font bigger, actually. Tools, options, view, format. No. Yes, Courier New, there. Let's just make it bold and bigger. There, all right. Anyway, now I want to search for that stuff. And I want to search for the pattern 0A062C. And I'm going to move this to the side so I can see that's the pattern I'm looking for right there. So it's Control F. And then you can search for hex values. And so I'm going to search for 0A. Oh, didn't take the 0. 0A, 06, 2C. 2C, I say. All right. That'll be these 3 bytes. So I search and it finds them. And if it's right, then I'd skip some stuff. I'd find a 72, which I see. So I think it's fine. All right. And if I'm correct, well, you know, this one has 2 bytes before the 72. I'm not sure that's right. I'm going to try to find again. Search, find again. Can't find it again. There's only appears this one time. Well, I'm a little troubled. It was supposed to be around line 280. Let me go back to 280. See if I see what happened. 280, 0A062C. Well, did I search for the wrong string or something? Search, find, 0A062C hex values. Well, let's go backwards and search. There's the one I want. I don't quite understand what happened with that search process, but this is the one that has 0A062C and then just 1 byte of junk and then a 72. So I wanted to change that 2C to a 2D. 2D. All right, turns red to indicate it's changed. Now I just save it and close it. And that modified game, I should be able to win easily. So I run the modified game, and now I put in a password of Q, and I win. So I've reversed the logic of the game, and this is quite powerful. So that's all I wanted to show you how easy it is to reverse engineer .NET, and you should be aware that the entire source code is being handed out. So if you have any secrets in your source code, they're not as secret as you think they are.